Just as I was about to reach for him again, a low grumble pierced the forest. I glanced at Kerr in amused bafflement. He averted his eyes, but I could tell he was embarrassed. You know, if you're hungry, I'm not. We all knew he was going to say, I'm not hungry. Stubborn. That's not a complaint from his stomach. Did you guys hear that? We should be looking around for boars. Wow. Another complaint from his stomach. I think you'll be able to walk faster if you have something to eat. What do dragons eat anyway? Meddling heavenkind. I rolled my eyes. Well, you have a heavenkind stomach right now, and I doubt it'll agree with a diet like that. Well, I don't know about that. Cannibalism is a thing, which is, very popular for a reason, right? Right? No? Okay. But it does make sense that you wouldn't want to try the bread or cheese. I doubt dragons thresh rye or run dairy farms. It was then when I remembered the apple tart. Even if Kerr found the pastry pod detestable, the fruit would probably be familiar to him. Why? What is it? What do dragons eat? We don't know. They haven't told us. Sweet things, one assumes. I urged him to sit down. When he refused, I simply made myself comfortable on the ground first. Here, this is the closest thing I have to something found in nature. I could forage, but that would take even longer. What is that? It's a pastry. My dad owns a bakery. You probably wouldn't understand that. It's basically a treat with apple filling. I think some apricot jam. Thankfully, my dad preferred showing off the natural ingredients. As the result, the top of the tart had thin slices of appetizing fruit covered with a lustrous yellow glaze. Well, I mean, sure, it looks appetizing to us, but I love cheese. Cheese looks very appetizing to me, but this person saw cheese and was like, oh, hell no. Well, more cheese with my main character, I guess. What the fuck is that? Ladies and gentlemen, a woman's head on a penis. Wow. There is a... I can't stand the anime style of drawing. You could just have these two in, like, really easily, but no. Oh, well, they've kind of done it up with the background here. Kind of. It kind of does and doesn't match up. It looks alright, I guess. Kerr sniffed it warily. It must have been agreeable enough, since he soon accepted the pastry. Oh, gracious little Kerr. You're welcome. As soon as he started nibbling on it, he must have realised how famished he really was, because he quickly devoured the entire tart. I watched as he coughed slightly and wiped the crumbs off his mouth, but his expression was unreadable. So, how was it? Anything tastes fine when you're starving. I will assume that means it was very good. Or you just inhaled it so fast and you didn't actually taste it. Well, it should tide you over until we reach the altar. Kerr grabbed his stick and we resumed on our trip. The extra sugar boost seemed to lift both the pace and his mood, although he stayed taciturn. Are we surprised? Also, when it says, oh, it lifted his mood. What, he wasn't shouting at us? That's lifting the mood. Yeah. The altar's not going to be there when we get there, is it? There's got to be some sort of twist walking here. As we continued through the forest, I stomped and groaned when I spotted some dark trees. Those are... really? Euphelbon trees. Felbon? Ifelbon? Ifelbon. Let's go with Ifelbon. Ifelbon trees. Completely forgot we should probably go around them. Ifelbon? He peered at the thick, gnarled trunks. What, scared of the bark? It'll be quicker if we continue in a straight line. No, it's not about the trees, it's about what lies in them. They make perfect nests for Avitals. Avitals? What, so terror as in land and avi as in flight? So they're birds? I think, like vultures or something, okay. The hell are those? Birds! Bam! Knew it! Yeah! Check me out on my knowledge and language and shit. Those giant bird things, I thought you would know about them. I would if I understood your names. Why are you giving new names to everything anyway? We dragons were here first, and we've already established. I raised my hand to silence him, not making to want any unnecessary noise. He scowled, but a shrill cry startled both of us. Oh, fuck. Yeah, we're definitely fucked. That fecker sounds rather big. Then what do you call that then? Usually food. That'll be us now. Perched on one of the lower branches was a reptilian bird with scales running down its front. The rest of its body was covered in earth-toned feathers. Though probably no taller than 4 feet. 4 feet? I'd kick it in the face in that case. 4 feet. Pfft, it's like a child. His extremely wide wingspan and sharp talons made it a fearsome animal to encounter in the wild. Don't I, like, bring weapons with me and shit? Avital's raised young way into the fall, so the mothers would be extra territorial this time of the year. The bird ruffled its plume, making itself seem larger than it was, and prepared to launch itself at us. Oh, okay, so we do have weapons. I immediately stepped in front of Kerr, gripping my sword as I took a defensive stance. With Kerr's condition, an instant retreat wouldn't work, I'd have to guard him. What are you... You're not planning to fight it, are you? Do we have a... Look out! I shoved Kerr off balance thanks to my quick reflexes. We narrowly avoided a slash from the Avital's talons. The wind whipped up at my hair as debris flew up around us. I'm not feeling this. Can I just carry him and we can run away? I mean, we should be miles away from those special trees. I scrambled to my feet and sprinted forward, hoping to keep the Avital's attention away from Kerr. As it dove towards me, I slashed upwards. It veered away, dodging my counterattack. Kerr, I'll keep it busy while you get it away. You stupid, I'm not leaving you behind. Kerr, I need you to take me to that altar. Yes, sure. Maybe if you shouted the directions at me, I could get there alone. I'm kind of busy here. I can't get my bearings in the middle of a battle. My aggravation was the incentive I needed to keep the Avital at bay. However, my training had never covered aerial attacks, and the bird's scaly front was like armor. Have you tried attacking its arse? An arse is never done. Or just the Dark Souls 1 game where we just play cut off its tail. It's a bird. To the arse it is! Are you holding back? Well, it's just protecting its young. It's trying to kill you. You think I haven't noticed? Oh, for the wings, clip them. It won't hurt it, but it'll stop it from flying. Just clip the tips. Thank you for telling me that now, Treacle. Jesus. I winded my stance as I prepared for another attack. At the last second, I leapt to the side, slicing at an angle. My sword beautifully sheared the Avital's thick primary feathers. The monster swerved into the ground, its shoulder and head bearing the brunt of the crash. It let out a cry, and I felt a split second of guilt. That vanished as soon with a yelp as the bird tried to tear me down with its talons. I was going to say, why are you feeling guilt? Yes, sure, it's protecting its young, but yes, it's trying to kill you as well. And it's not a good enough reason to not kill it. Luckily, the Avital was designed for swooping down at prey rather than running on the ground, so it could only hobble awkwardly. Like, where's the stance on killing something which is trying to kill you, even if it's doing it for decent reasons? Even if we're not actually going to do them at all. Like, I seem to remember this story about someone killing a shark after it had just attacked it. Or, yeah, no, it's a very vague story. I don't quite remember it, but it was the comments which amused me the most. Shark attacks human, human attacks back. The shark was there first! Yes, but it was trying to attack. It's called self-defense, for God's sake. Oh well, luckily the Avital was designed for swooping down at prey rather than running in the ground, so it could only hobble awkwardly. That still worries me. The thing is now, because it's hobbling, I'm just imagining that Pingu attacking me. As it screeched and futilely spread its wings, I retreated, grateful that it was even slower than Kerr. I wove through the trees until it finally gave up chasing me. Then, sighing in relief, I looped back and returned to Kerr, who was also at a safe distance. We just fucked off from Kerr, did we? Oh, fuck it, he'll be fine. It looks like it gave up, but what about its young? It'll be fine, the feathers will grow back, and it will still hop back to its nest. Its babies won't need to eat as constantly as this stage anyway. You sure know a lot about them, thanks for the suggestion. He snorted indignantly. I already told you, they're food. Of course I'd know about them. Am I the kind of person then who hates Kerr? So I'm just like, it's protecting its young! And then I just got someone here who eats them. Soon the forest was quiet once again, with only the sounds of our footsteps and the tap of Kerr's walking stick breaking the silence. Surprisingly, he did not protest when I suggested a safer route, nor when I walked nearly shoulder to shoulder with him. Look at him getting jiggy with it. No. I had the feeling that starting a regular conversation would push my luck, so I kept my mouth shut and instead hoped for no more setbacks. When's the altar? Are we actually going to get there and the altar's going to be there? Oh my god, I do not want to go in here. This is it. Yes, it's not a very deep cave. You simply take a turn and the altar is right there. That's it? No complex mazes? No shiny sacred magic lake with a guardian or anything? Hey, we did what we could. This is a modest altar. I took a deep breath and smiled reminiscently. I haven't been here in years. I think I came before to make the occasional offering about harvest season. I gave Kerr a cheerful look, but he continued forward, ignoring my recollections. I shrugged and followed, quickly catching up to him. Why do we give offerings to pricks like this? Kerr awkwardly knelt down before the altar, discarding the walking stick once he was comfortable. Holy shit! The altar's there! Wow! It's going to be a very short game at this rate. His eyes closed with a softened scowl, almost as if he was meditating. Suddenly, his mineral-like ears perked, and he stared directly at the statue. There was no change in atmosphere, but I could tell Kerr was angry. His hand tightly gripped his knee. I know we're connected. I demand you that you remove the stupid curse. He fell silent, and I looked around in bemusement. Who is talking to someone? Yes, he was talking to someone. Very clever. But I could not hear the other half of the conversation. It's an altar! It doesn't need an explanation, that's why it's an altar. For some reason, that made me even more attentive as I tried to piece everything together. You can't be serious. I said a few things, but... Yes, I've met one. That's how I found the altar in the first place. He whirled around towards me and blinked in confusion, as if studying me for the first time. I stiffened, wondering why he was staring at me so intensely. Anyone else, and this would be an act of perversion, I tell you. Once he finally turned away, I relaxed, although I could not help but feel anxious about the discussion. What about me? Weak, pathetic, gives strange names to animals, doesn't seem to know much about Ishtar or how the world works. Is he referring to Heavenkind in general, or just you? It is just you. There is no one else he's even met, it is just you. What? I guess their food is half decent or something. What? No. You're not sending me on a pointless inspirational quest. I'm not a child. I can't even walk in this form, so your plan is... At that moment, a blinding light flashed from where Kerr was standing, and I flinched in shock. Whoa, Kerr? By the time I had knelt down and worryingly grabbed his shoulder, the flash had already disappeared. In one smooth moment, Kerr removed my hand and stood up without the walking stick. His eyes still seemed focused beyond me, and he slowly nodded to himself. Did your powers return or something? He extended his palm and lurched towards the ground, slamming it against the hard stone. One will assume that that is a yes. Crunch! The entire cave shook. The tremor visibly and mentally shook me as well, and my heart pounded loudly. I felt so paralysed that I couldn't even scream. Once I found my balance, I looked bewilderedly at Kerr, who smugly flexed his unharmed fingers. I stared curiously at the cocksure expression. So? He barely glanced in my direction. It's not exactly what I wanted, however, a portion of my original powers and strength are back along with my balance. I can actually be comfortable in this form now. I was going to say, is this him leaving me? He gave a dismissive kick to the walking stick, then promptly walked away from the altar. I mustered a small smile. Well, that's promising at least. What will you do next? Do what he ordered me to do and become normal again. I can handle this on my own. Yep, thought so. This is him leaving. At least say thank you. Don't take the visual novel route. And don't say thank you, you prick. So you don't need to follow me. I had to anyway. There was only one way out of the cave, but as soon as we were in the open air, Kerr took off running with a grace and speed I'm sure no real Heavenkind could ever replicate. I blinked once, and sure enough, I was alone. I scratched the back of my head, still absorbing what just happened. Well, it's very simple. Here's the dragon. However, he's in an inspirational quest. You know, place your faith in the light and that kind of thing. And then he has his powers back. So he has, you know, the strength of force of several hundred donkeys and elephants, and he can also run very quickly. I don't know, the agility of 200 pandas. Panthers, something like that. That's what just happened. You're welcome? Didn't even say thank you. What a prick. We will be shooting him later. Burying my head in my hands, I shook out my hair in frustration. Do we add him to the smiting book? It's been a while, isn't it? There's Gloria and Carmosa from Cinders. I don't think we've done anyone in... Oh no, we must have done Tobias in Blue Rose. Who else is there? That's it. We must add someone to the smiting book in this game. I've made it a personal goal. Burying my head in my hands, I shook out my hair in frustration. Shook out your hair? You don't want to be doing that. Was I expecting something from this? Well, a thank you would have been nice. No, this is a visual novel. Everyone's a prick. No one says thank you. I tapped my sword, hilt for reassurance. It's what a knight does. They help the weak and demonstrate their generosity when it is needed. Well, Kerr's not weak anymore. He can definitely take care of himself now. I guess my duty is done. Mission complete. Just some experience as a reward and a discarded walking stick. What, do I get to put points into level-upping thingy-mobobbies now? Deciding not to linger any longer, I started walking back towards Berry. My parents would certainly be worried by now. Almost definitely. Unless he's just going to go there and destroy the village. I'm away from my mum and dad. Welcome back. That suggests that something is going to happen when I get to the village now. I'm skeptical here. I tracked back through the forest, careful to avoid any more wild animals. When I reached the spot where I'd previously set up camp, I decided to take a quick break to eat. I'm amazed I have enough food. I unwrapped my bread and cheese, poking half-heartedly at their grainy texture as I stared at the remains of the campfire. As I was about to take a bite, I had an odd feeling of discomfort and glanced sideways. What the fuck was that? Am I really imagining things? Let me guess, he doesn't know where to go. I sighed. Kerr, I know you're there, you don't have to hide. There was only silence at first, but I heard a slight rustle and turned my head again. Seriously, you just moved to another location. I hope you weren't going to wait until I was asleep and steal my stuff. I wasn't planning on doing anything like that. Yeah, see, you are there. Kerr reluctantly emerged from behind one of the bigger trees. His expression looked conflicted, and I could tell he did not want to be with me again. Oh, he's so kind and dreamy. Welcome back. Did you miss me? No, but then I realised I wouldn't be able to find the next altar without you. Well, you're out of luck. I don't know the whereabouts of any of the other dragon caves, nor am I carrying more apple tarts if you're hungry. There is really no reason to stick with me. You'll need to get another guide or find someone else that can help. But I don't want to go through the trouble of finding anyone else. At least until I get my bearings, I've no clue where to go from here. But he could find his way to camp. Something suspicious with you, Kerr. A small idea formed in my head. Wait, perhaps I could accompany Kerr to Oliver. If I explain the situation to Mum, maybe she'll consider writing me the night recommendation letter. Then, if you'd like, I'll accompany you to Berry. From there, we can travel to Oliver. It's a huge city, you could probably find directions to the other altars there. Does that sound acceptable? He grumbled in agreement and sat down on the fallen log I was using, but near the edge to leave plenty of space between us. My master also asked me to interact with Heavenkind more, and I've already been with you long enough. Nice to know I'm tolerable to be around, and your master doesn't seem that bad. We didn't hear him. That could have been Satan with a pitchfork for all we know. He has an interest in working with Heavenkind. I guess he didn't like it when one of his pupils didn't share his point of view. I grinned wryly. At least he was kind enough to curse you with some clothes. I didn't think dragons normally wore clothes. Is that a spell, or are these genuine articles? Kerr tugged on his shirt as if suddenly aware of it. I think it's a spell? It won't wear off or anything, will it? Don't give him those dreamy eyes! Jesus Christ, Aurelie! What is that about? He scoffed. I assure you the spell won't wear off for my clothes. It's just that I don't want to glance back during, I don't know, the heat of battle and catch you stark naked. That'll never happen. Jeez, why are you interested in seeing me shirtless? If you want, I can take these off right... No, please, no! I trust in the magical sustainability of those clothes, so please keep them on. You can't give him those eyes and a smile. And then he goes, look, I'll just fucking take them off now if you want. And suddenly she's like, no, please don't. I'm innocent, really. Besides, you'll stay warmer that way. Is that why Heavenkind wear them? Something like that. I pulled off some of the bread and popped it in my mouth. Kerr watched briefly with interest before haughtily averting his eyes. Let me guess, you're hungry as well. I don't know what Heavenkind normally consume, but I don't think I can eat what I normally would. Yet, funny that. Crunching your teeth for a metallic bird. I can't see that being too favourable. As he pursed his lips, I handed him the rest of the bread. He arched his eyebrow in surprise at the offering. It's fine, I had a small breakfast and I'll be back in Berry soon. Without bothering to inspect it like he did with the apple tart, crammed the bread in his mouth. I stifled a laugh, since I had the feeling the other dragons had no concept of chewing. Propping an elbow to my knee, I watched with amusement. I was also feeling a little unimpressed with how dismissive he was towards me. Glower at him, tease him. What should I do? I don't know. I don't know which one of these ones is the good one. He might like being teased. Alright, I'm confused. I might just eeny, meeny, miny, mo this, you know.